USC Columbia. So I only kind of had those in mind. And then in terms of applying for scholarships, I applied to one pretty big one. I applied to Teaching Fellows and I got it, thankfully. And it's been really nice. But when I got that, I decided, oh, which school do I want to put it towards? So they had us rank it, and I decided CFC would be a good option because I would get that traditional college experience of living in a dorm and living away from home for the first time. Because I was talking to a lot of people, and they really encouraged me to go with that option instead of living at home. And yeah, so kind of my scholarship kind of guided my college choice. I applied to all three, I got into all three, but it was really when I got my scholarship and I had to decide which college to go to. I let that guide my decision. Um, Probably not the best way to go about that, but that's what I did and it's worked out for me. But
Right.
yeah.
Everybody's got a different path, different journey.
Mhm.
And teaching fellows, obviously, you wanted to become a teacher, and so it makes sense. And teaching fellows is a fantastic scholarship program.
Mhm.
All right. So you decide to go to College of Charleston. We've had some people go there, but not a lot. Did anybody else from your graduating class go there?
I'm pretty sure I'm the only one because I have not seen a single other kid from home besides the people I went to middle school with. I do know Braden Falk was going to go to CFC, but he ended up going to a different college. So, yeah, I think I'm the only early college kid for my class.
Right. Um, I'm pretty definitely sure you are. And I had kind of a similar high school experience too, because we were a relatively small school that they'd be like, "Yeah, I'm going to Georgia." Nobody else is. So I can definitely relate to that, which can also be a good thing. You meet a lot of people because you're not stuck with what you know. So
Yeah.
that's good. All right, so you go to Charleston. College of Charleston is in the most beautiful, greatest city in South Carolina, perhaps even the nation. What's it like going to school in such a cool place?
I think even though I'm still living here, I think as I grow up and as I move to new places, it'll be an experience in a place that I'll always say, oh, that's cool. I got to live in downtown Charleston for college. Kind of like bragging rights, if you will. It's really cool. There's lots of cool little places that I can walk to. And if you do have a car, it's even greater because you can go to Mount Pleasant, and there's a lot of cool stuff in Mount Pleasant. Same thing with West Ashley and James Island. But in terms of like downtown Charleston, it's really nice being able to go to Marion Square or the Battery or even just walking up and down King Street. It's just really nice and really convenient. And of course, like you said, the scenery is absolutely beautiful. And when the weather is nice as it is today, it's not too unbearable with the heat.
Right. I am quite jealous. The weather was nice here today. I can
Yeah.
imagine it was pretty perfect there too. All right, so you're going there, beautiful campus, beautiful place, lots of history too, which kind of brings us to our next part. You want to be a social studies teacher?
Yes, sir. I
Why
do.
social studies?
Because I happen to have some amazing social studies teachers in middle school and high school, and I wanted to be like them.
Gotcha. Perfect answer. Now, what year are you at CFC?
I'm in my third and final year, so I'm currently in my student teaching and I'll be graduating in May.
Gotcha. Where are we looking for jobs?
That part is tricky. I am not sure, but I am going to be looking in Charleston adjacent. I'll, of course, look at places in Horry County too, because if I can find a place there, I know I absolutely have a place to live because
Right.
uh, my mom is still there. And then I'm trying to live with some friends after graduation, and so I'm also keeping Columbia and Greenville in mind because those are some areas that we've been talking about. So that's kind of my rough estimate right now, but most likely Charleston adjacent areas.
Makes sense. I wouldn't leave if I didn't have to. Uh, but that's good. That'll be exciting. Graduation's always fun, especially College of Charleston.
I
And
know, right?
I'm gonna tease that part. We're not gonna get in the details. So for people who would listen and watch this later,
Hmm.
look up what that graduation looks like because it's awesome and completely different than anywhere else. All right, so you're finishing that part up. I have two follow-up questions for you, and these are kind of the last two questions.
Mhm.
I'll give you both questions. You can decide how you want to go about answering them. Question number one, think back to being a freshman. What advice do you give the eighth grader who is about to receive their acceptance letter to early college? Question number two, what advice do you give the seniors who are right now sitting about 2 months out because finals at Tech this year are in April?
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
right. What advice do you give those seniors who are about to take that next step?
I think I'll start with the seniors first because I'm sort of in a sort of similar but
Right.
different stage, adjacent. Um, it is scary stuff. It's kind of overwhelming at first, even if it doesn't seem like it, but it's just graduating and going to the next step. It's exciting when you look back on it. It's scary in the moment, but when you look back, you might think, "Oh, I had this in the bag," stuff like that. Um, just honestly be a trailblazer and keep pushing through because that's the best that you can do. Um, but yeah, because I know looking back, I was very, very worried, very, very timid about going off to college. It was a little rough in the sense of I wasn't ready to not be in high school because high school was my life for so long, it felt like. So having to make that transition was a little overwhelming to think about, but it's a wonderful experience to be able to go to college. And if that is the goal, or to go into the workforce or whatever the post-secondary goals are, it's enriching. I'll say that one again. I think it's worth it and just gonna have to keep pushing forward. As for the eighth graders that are about to get their early college letters, I am I'm so excited for them because I remember being so, so excited. There's so many wonderful experiences in store that early college can give you. Um, gosh, the eighth grader one is a little tricky to answer. That was so long ago. I would say make the most of the opportunity that you were given. Um, because I know for me personally, I knew I was going to go to college for something, and early college gave me that opportunity to figure out what that thing was. Because at first, I didn't think I was going to be a teacher. I thought I was going to be a graphic designer because art was my whole life back then. But it was through early college and taking those classes and meeting different people. That's when I found out, oh, I think I want to be a teacher. I want to be what my teachers were for me. So I guess for the eighth graders that are coming in, um, make the most of the opportunity because you never know where it's going to take you. That was kind of a rambly type
No, it was
answer.
perfect. It was
Okay.
perfect. We could have ended it right there and just done. All right. So, Emma, thank you for joining me. If you want to hang out for just a moment afterward, we'll talk a little more. But
Sweet.
that's Emma Carr, class of 2022, and soon to be high school social studies teacher.